Hey y'all, and welcome to my channel, Kitchen Notes from Nancy. Today is Thanksgiving Day, 2020, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to hop on and tell you guys, thank you. We're almost at 10,000, and I'm extremely grateful for that. But in addition to telling you all thank you, I want to give some encouragement, especially to those new cooks who are cooking in the kitchen today for the first time. And this was the perfect recipe to do it on because I made a crucial error in this recipe and it still turned out good. So I just want to tell you, don't get bogged down in the hustle and bustle of today. It's about family and it's about your attempt to try. All recipes aren't going to be perfect. All recipes don't have to be perfect. Even people like me who invite you into their kitchen on a daily basis, we sometimes make errors like I did today. And it's okay. It's okay. So just make sure that as you watch this recipe, you keep that in mind and that you also consult the description bar. I'm going to give some very detailed ingredients today, as well as cooking instructions, just because I feel that the video may be slightly hard to follow. But I hope you all are having a great day. And I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, and thank you so much for your support. Now, let's hop right into the video. Alright, so we're going to hop right into the ingredients for this sweet potato casserole. This was requested by a subscriber. So, you're going to start with sweet potatoes. This is going to depend on how many people you're making yours for. I'm using 5 medium-sized sweet potatoes. In addition to that, you're going to need some nutmeg, some cinnamon. I'm using salted butter. You can use salted or unsalted butter. All right, you're going to need a little bit of salt to help intensify the taste of the potatoes. You're going to need some pecans. I'm using chopped pecans, but we're going to put them in the food processor, so they're going to be really fine. You're going to need both brown sugar and also white granulated sugar. And this is it for my sweet potato casserole. This is one the subscriber requested that I show one without marshmallows. So this one does not have marshmallows in it. I'll do one with marshmallows at a later date. So let's hop into getting these potatoes prepared. You can do your potatoes a couple different ways. You can put them in the microwave if that's what you want to do. You can put them in the oven, or you can do them the way that I'm going to do them today, which is I'm going to peel them and boil them. So let's hop into that process. Okay, so I'm going to do this my usual way of cutting, and I usually just cut the tips off like so. Make sure I'm in the frame. All right. And then I just peel them like this. Now, the peels on sweet potatoes are a little bit more rough than like your regular old russet potato or a red skin potato. So be very careful if you choose to do it this way. Some people use a potato peeler, but this is how I was brought up. After I do that, I'm going to take my chef's knife, cut it in half, and then I'm just gonna cube it. And these cubes are gonna be kind of small just because I want these to cook in about 12 minutes. I don't want it to take a long time. It's Thanksgiving morning. And you know, there are other things that have to be prepped. So you want to go ahead and get this done. And then I'm just going to dump this in my boiler. So I am going to, and you do want to kind of make them about the same size. Mine are a little wonky this morning, but it'll be okay. I'll just watch them. So I'm going to peel the rest of these and then I'll meet you at the stove. So we're here at the stove. I put enough water in them to cover them. And I start my potatoes with cold water. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on a medium-high heat. We're going to bring it to a boil and we'll be back when they're about fork tender. So it should be around 15 minutes or so. we'll come back and check on them. All right, my sweet potatoes are fork tender. I'm about to take them to the sink and drain them, and then we'll get started with the mixing process. All right, so we're getting ready to mix this up, and you're gonna see some ingredients that I didn't mention initially. I was in a hurry trying to get the content out, so make sure you see the description bar below. That's where everything's gonna be, all of the measurements, and I'm probably gonna add a freeze frame at the beginning of this video as I go over the ingredients to kind of talk about some of the things that I missed earlier. So I'm just going to be using my hand mixer. And sweet potatoes can be stringy, so you do want to take your hand mixer and give them a good mix. Now, if you want to do this with a potato masher, you can, but I prefer a hand mixer for this portion. Just in case it's stringy, I'm gonna show you how it'll get the strings out. But these are Mississippi sweet potatoes, and usually they're not too stringy, as you can see here. So this, I'm not gonna really be able to show you the strings in this because these typically don't have a whole bunch. But now, once we got them kind of mixed up a little, we're gonna start adding our ingredients. So I have a half a stick of melted butter. All right, and then I have a cup of sugar. If that's too sweet for you, you can, start with a half a cup and mix up. But I like really, really sweet, sweet potatoes. And a little tip that you want to make sure you do while you're mixing, you want to make sure that you scrape down your bowl periodically so that you can get it all mixed in. So you want to make sure that it all gets mixed in nicely. So scrape down that bowl. All right, now we're just going to add a pinch of salt. Not much, like literally it's a dash, because you're not really trying to make the potatoes salty. You're just trying to intensify the flavor of the sugar. I'm also gonna go in with a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I like to use pure vanilla extract. Some people are not bothered by the imitation vanilla, but I'm not a fan. All right, and then we're gonna go in with a teaspoon of lemon juice. If you use lemon extract for that, you want to use about 1/4 of a teaspoon, not the whole teaspoon, because it will be a lot. For the ground cinnamon, I'm gonna go in with a half a teaspoon because we will be using some cinnamon in our brown sugar crumble. And then for nutmeg, I'm gonna do 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. If you don't like nutmeg, you can cut that down to 1/8. Alright, now we're going to give it a good blend. That's my oven going off. Make sure you preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Scrape that bowl down. All right, now I'm gonna give it a taste. I'm gonna be honest with you. I want more sugar. So for you, I'm gonna tell you to use a cup of sugar, but I'm gonna go in with another half a cup just to give me that sweetness that I'm looking for. I want this to taste like sweet potato pie without the crisp. All right, so you don't have to do this if you think it's too much sugar, but I am gonna go in and add a half a cup of brown sugar to this as well. Taste I want for my sweet potatoes. All right, so yeah, I needed a cup and a half of sugar to get that right taste. If you need a little less, do you, boo? So now we're going to put this in our dish and get ready to start on our brown sugar pecan crumble. Okay, you want to make sure you take your baking dish and rub it really good with butter. You can use non-stick cooking spray if you would like to, but you know, of course, butter makes everything better. So give this a good rub down. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you now, if this video makes any sense when it goes out, it is the power of editing, because I have been all over the place making this dish this morning. All right, so now that we got that butter, we're gonna take our filling and put it in. This is very similar to my sweet potato pie filling, but has a few slight differences, I guess. But I'll link the potato pie recipe and also my candied yams recipe down below. Alright, so you want to smooth this out. I try to make mine, you know, as even as possible on top. Okay. So for the crumble, you're going to need some refrigerated butter. Like, it needs to be right out of the refrigerator. I'm going to use the whole stick. Y'all know I'm from Alabama, so don't judge. Alright, but I'm gonna cut it down into pieces real quick to make this a little bit easier. If you have a pastry cutter, you can do this with a pastry cutter. I'm just going to use the food processor. All right, so now I'm going to go in with 1/4 of a cup of flour. And then I'm just gonna pulse it a little bit to break that butter down. All right. Now we're going to add in a cup of brown sugar. I'm gonna add 1/4 of a cup of white sugar, even though I call it a brown sugar crumble. And then if you like pecans more than I do, feel free to add in up to a cup. I don't like pecans like that, so I am only going to add in about 1/4 of a cup. So my crumble is gonna be just a little bit different. And now we're going to pulse this again. Now, you indeed want this to be a crumble. You don't want it to be a paste. So just make sure that you're pulsing and make sure that that butter is cold. Alright, and then what you're gonna come up with is something that looks like this. And then I'm just going to disperse the crumble evenly all over the top. And if you want a thinner layer of crumble, you can adjust your measurements. I like a thick layer of sugar. So this is how I do it. All right. So this is our final product. Right before we go in the oven, we're going to put this in the oven. You know what? I ain't put no eggs in this mixture. I ain't put a single egg. So we're gonna go in the oven for about 30 minutes or so, and then we'll see the final product. Alright, so I am going to cut into this so you can see it. I love the topping, and I'm gonna tell you right now that the reason why it's kind of coming apart is because I forgot the egg, but the taste will still be delicious. So if you like this recipe, I am going to remake it. Just make sure to remember the egg. Check down below in the description bar for a full recipe, and also typed out instructions. As always, thank y'all so much for the support. I can't believe we're almost to 10,000. So I am just really amazed, and I am so grateful for you all. So I hope everybody is having a happy Thanksgiving 2020, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, neighbors.